What's up, traders? Thanks for the time. So today I want to talk about NASDAQ. We have a huge move down today. It's down 3.4%. The VIX is up almost 8% today. And we know when VIX goes up, these indices tend to fall. Volatility up, indices down. Not always, but for the most part. Today we had a really clean entry on NASDAQ at market open, about 3 minutes before market open. And I want to just break down this idea and show you how I'm using the daily chart and the 1 minute chart. I'm not using the 15-minute. I'm not using the 5-minute. It's daily chart and 1 minute chart. And I'm only looking for trades now between 8 and 11 a.m. Eastern time, New York time. So let me first show you the daily chart. We're looking at just NASDAQ. We're not going to look at SPX and we're not going to look at US30 for this video because I want to keep it short. But as you can see in my note here, as we pulled back above the 21 yesterday with the close, but we have the 8 EMA still under the 21 EMA, which signals a short-term downtrend. This type of a bar that gets me potentially above the 21 to get short is a great potential place to be looking for shorts. Now, does it work all the time? Nothing works all the time in trading. But in this position, that's where I want to be looking for shorts to see this 8 hold under the 21, which we call a downshift. I want to see that downshift hold. I know we said we weren't going to look at SPX, but if you look at SPX, it looks like an A2 on that daily close from yesterday. And now look at what we've done today. Pushed right back down, exactly what an A2 should do. So you can see why we would be looking for shorts today. It's that 8 and 21 cross that's really feeding that. So then if we take it to the 1 minute, and you can see my session time zone, you can see the color chart change. That signals where we go from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. I have 8 a.m. to 11 just blocked off with a lighter color so I can see it. Simply what I'm trying to do is if we're below anchored VWAP, I'm looking for A2s to sell it. If we're above anchored VWAP from the start of the day, I'm looking for buys. I'm not doing anything with EMAs, and I'm not doing anything with the L50. In fact, the L50 really, you can figure out what it's doing based on the grade or the letter here on the A2 signal, but it really doesn't even matter to me because like I said, I'm just using anchored VWAP. And a lot of this comes from my podcast recently, talking to Crudelli, talking to Tom Basso, talking to Brian Shannon, talking to these guys that have been trading longer than I've been alive and hearing what they say and trying to incorporate their tips. So for me, under anchored VWAP, we're looking for sells. These long signals like this F signal, long under anchored VWAP is not going to be a high probability trade in my opinion. I want to also see this trade as close to the black dotted line, which is anchored VWAP, as possible. But I have a band multiplier set to 0.5, as you'll see here, right? I have that band multiplier turned on that tells me, hey, we're kind of still close to the anchored VWAP. We could look in this range. And if you look today, this entry close to that bottom band is the closest entry we get to an anchored VWAP. If you look at SPX, the entry this morning, you can see it here, a little further from that bar, right? A little further from the line. So that's why I was really interested in this NASDAQ idea. And it absolutely just melts from 927 through the rest of the day, as you can see, still heading lower here at 4:37 in the afternoon after the close, still heading lower. So now if you measure the whole move, it's 14R today. But the 10R move was to the previous day's low and previous month low, which I have marked off with these levels. And you can see the entry itself comes off of the previous day's high level. So you're trading from significant level to significant level using the anchored VWAP to give you the bias. And what I would point out to you today, this B signal wins beautifully. B signal, even this far from anchored VWAP, B signals still win. This far from anchored VWAP, that's more rare. But what does not win? The longs here and here. No money in that. If you're below anchored VWAP even later in the day, sell it. Follow the bias the VWAP is telling you to trade. I just got off a call with Jerome. He's trading the Australian time zone, so he's trading in the afternoon here on SPX and the indices. And I told him, if you're under anchored VWAP, just look to sell. Don't really look for the mean reversion trade. It's not going to be the profitable trade. It will be sometimes, but not all of the time. So this was the idea here on NASDAQ. SPX had a similar idea. I showed you it wasn't as great. US30 really had nothing until later in the day. This was the one and done. And you can just rip this one position. The craziest thing about this is I'm looking to take profit at 1R. It hit 1R in the first 5 minutes. You'll find that often. So if you want to be a part of more of these trade calls, just be on my live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the New York session. Tune in. I'll show you how to draw the stop loss with the fib retracement. I'll show you when the entry is coming. I'll walk you through how to manage the trade. I'll take care of everything for you just to help shortcut your learning curve. So make sure you tune in. And I appreciate your time. Happy trading.